Good afternoon, I'm Ben Ryder, and follow me on this epic journey into the junction. It'll be a journey of action and epic proportions as we attempt to catch a glimpse of the legendary, the one and only, the Avery. In order to study the Avery, and due to their intense defense mechanisms and their rather territorial behavior, we required a distraction in order to lure the Avery from its nesting place. And here we are at the Avery's nesting place. As you can see, it is rather wet, and the environment is rather aquatic and damp, making it easy for them to store their young for the winter. As you can see up ahead, the platoon, a four-man squad, is heading down the road, the track that we have deciphered in order to catch a glimpse of the Avery. However, their attempts may be in vain, as the Avery is no longer present at the nesting place. Spencer Reed with the gun is checking the place with most intense authority and tracking skills that he has learnt during training. Yes, they are discussing and there is no sign, so they decide to move on. However, Spencer down the bottom, one of his friends, is checking, dropping scents in order to locate their location.
Good evening, I'm James Lake and this is James Lake News on BBTV. In breaking news, the canteen has been robbed today during the State Camp Risk Championship. This is the latest CCTV footage from the scene. Fresh after the scene, Brendan Mr. T. Travers, manager at the canteen, was available for a rather disappointing interview.
I don't even know what happened. I mean, I was having a quick sleep and they completely ignored my sign that Mr. T is the bomb. And they took it all. They took my can out of my... I had to go and get a new one.
But it says Mr. T is the bum. What's that all about?
That's obviously wrong. He's the bomb. Mr. T is the bomb.
I'll get you a number later. I'll now throw to our interview with Wesley Snipes, interviewing Mr. Patio Furniture and Jim Rayner.
Well, James, we have Mr. Patio Furniture here and Jim Rayner, who were apparently witnesses to the robbery of the canteen. But as you can see, nothing quite seemed to have appeared because they don't know what quite happened. So could you please, Patio, tell us what went on down there?
Okay, at 14:46 Eastern Standard Time, the east coast of the canteen was breached in what appears to be a robbery against the refrigerator. They murdered one little child who was watching the game Risk, and also they only got away with $12.50 worth of merchandise.
$12.50?
Yes.
Gee, that's intense, and apparently that's a big financial cutback for the canteen. But as we'll go on to Jim Rayner. So Jim, please tell us, what was it that you happened to be experiencing at the time? What's your take on the situation?
I don't know what happened. I was watching Risk and suddenly I turned around and Brendan was in distress and I saw his coat gone and everything was mayhem and it's still too much for me.
Well, there you have it, James. Just total mayhem here at the canteen. No one's quite together, but we'll see how things pick up in time. Thank you.
Welcome back, I'm still James Lake, and in breaking news, I've just received footage from Australia invading China. Have a look. That's all we have for now. I'm James Lake from James Lake News. James Lake, this on BBTV. James Lake, you stay classy, Yara Jane.
In our mere attempts to track the Avery, we required specialist intel in regards to their behavioural patterns. In response to this, we got in touch with a Matthew Martin.
I've been tracking the Avery for 14 years, and I have not been successful, but I have found a major breakthrough. We need to trap him using bait. These weapons are inefficient. We need this. We need this.
I have an aeroplane!
The 14 years I've been hunting the Avery, I have had little success, but I have found the way he travels long distances. This. The beast.
From what we can see here, folks, the Avery tends to use rather interesting hand movements in order to communicate with his surroundings. As you can see, he's quite fascinated with this lime cordial in the container. As the Avery stands still in his environment, he tends to blend in with the blue jacket as he uses for camouflage. Yes, you can see he's quite tired from his immense scrounging through the rubble to find any scraps he can forage. As you can see as well, he's quite good at adapting. And finally, after a long day's work of foraging and scrounging through the rubble to find scraps, he is using telepathy, one of the unique abilities of the Avery, and informing the rest of his clan that he's in fact found dinner and they will be eating well tonight.
Interviewing Mr. Patio Furniture and... I can't read it. Interviewing Mr. Patio Furniture and Mike Rayner. Interviewing Mr. Patio Furniture and Rob Rayner. Interviewing Mr. Patio Furniture and Jim Rayner. Welcome back. Oh, it hasn't got the flashing light.
It doesn't?
No.
It is recording.
Nah. Was not the right thing.